Windows alibi. I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. The entire audience was my witness.
But my performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed.
I'll never be able to live down how terribly I bombed during that very important show. Yuindo was on stage before he found the body, so he could not have committed this crime. It is time to let it all go, Defense, and move on.
Well, get this, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi. The Right Anything Agency never gives up. We fight to the bitter end.
Allow me to say this once more. Let it go and move on.
And allow me to say once more, I'm never giving up. I'm never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around, never gonna hurt you. Never!
This is pointless. You should have taken advantage of this opportunity while you could, you foolish child. Your worthless convictions only serve to prolong the accused's suffering. If words will not sway you, then perhaps pain will.
Oh! Was that 3? No! Ah, anything but this! Oh, it hurts!
Oh no, he's gonna squeeze her balloons.
What's the big idea, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi?
That was a small dose of punishment for your misguided convictions. Are you now a bit more inclined to give up, as instructed?
As if!
In that case, you must require another dose.
Ah!
Huh! Not bloody likely. I don't give two flips about your beliefs, but if Sykes don't know what to submit to you here, I won't be able to eat good soba anymore.
That's right! For Mr. Wet's future and Prosecutor Blackwell's stomach, I will never give up!
You'll rue those words, Defense. Of that I can assure you. Okay, enough of that diversion. Let's just get to the cross-examination. I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. I wonder about this whole thing.
How can we be sure it was you on that stage?
Are you asking whether it could have been some imposter?
I guess so.
Unlike a big arena, a Rakugo theater is a cozy little place. It would be hard to fool an audience in such an intimate setting, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Good. I'm glad we could clear that up, because I guess you could say the entire audience was my witness.
Was there anything special about the stage or your performance that you can tell me? For example, were the lights dimmer than usual? Were there any problems or accidents?
Not a thing. Everything was the same as always. Mr. Prosecutor, you questioned the audience, didn't you? Yes, of course. Apparently nothing seemed amiss to them except, well, one small thing.
One small thing? Oh, it's so embarrassing. I tried my best, really, I did. But my performance was a huge bust. Not a single soul laughed. Do you have any idea what went wrong?
No, I'm not sure if it was my performance, or it was just that particular audience. Or maybe it was the story I picked. But every entertainer knows this kind of thing happens from time to time.
guess that makes sense. Still, I wonder how he could have flopped at his own commemorative show. Maybe I should dig into things a bit more. What he performed, or the number of audience members. Let's get what you were performing. Could you tell me which Rakugo story you performed? I could, but I'm not sure if it would mean anything to the uninitiated. Well, even if I might not get it, can't you at least try me? Alright, if you insist. The story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Time Soba, huh? Maybe Windows right. He's only said the name of the routine and I'm already lost.
So you performed Time Soba, did you?
Didn't somebody else perform Toki Soba? What? You know what, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi?
In the course of my studies last night, I became familiar with a number of stories. I must say, Defense, you would do well to prepare better for your next trial.
Ugh, I didn't have time! Simon, what's Time Soba about?
Look it up yourself. Allow me to give an overview. The story takes place on a winter's night. A man orders a bowl of soba at a street stall. How you doing, sir? What can I get for you? I see you got seaweed top hanamaki soba and mixed topping makoba soba. I'll have a bowl of shipoku, my good man. It sure is cold tonight, isn't it? But there's nothing like a hot bowl of noodles and soap to warm the soul. You know it, sir. One shipoku coming right up. So, how's business? Not so great, sir. Is that so? Well, that's great, because things can only get better from here, right?
Well, prosecutor.
The customer talks on and on like this. Finally, when he's done eating, he goes to pay for his soba. So, how much do I owe you? That'll be 16 mon, sir. I see, sorry, but I only have a small change on me. I'll count the coins into your palm, so could you hold out your hand for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, what time is it? It's 9, sir. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Thanks and bye.
Ha 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 ha! Very well done, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi. That was excellent.
Huh? I don't get it. What was so funny about that?
Don't you see? The customer paid with coins, counting them out one by one. They didn't just after counting 8, he asked about the time. And the soba vendor answered with 9.
Oh, now I get it. He made the vendor say 9 and then continued counting from 10.
Exactly. He cheated the soda vendor out of 1 mon with his smooth talking. The story continues with another man who saw the whole thing and tries to do the same. But he bungles the trick and ends up paying more than 16 mon for his soba. The story ends on that as the punchline. You can look up the rest of the details yourself. Oh, I'm sure Prosecutor Sahdmadhi over there would love to perform it for you after court.
So basically it's a story about a man cheating on his soba bill. That's kind of petty, isn't it?
Is that really all you have to say about this classic story? Time soba is such a well-known staple of Rakugo that the skill of the artist is critical in.
Fine, so you studied a lot. But we haven't the time for a lecture detour right now, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi.
Oh, I wanted to hear a little more, but I suppose it is off topic. Getting back to the matter at hand, Miss Sykes, the witness stated that the story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Would you like to add the statement to his testimony?
Yes! Should I have that statement added in testimony?
Yeah, because we don't want to listen to all that again.
Yes, Your Honor, I'd like to have it added.
Very well.
The story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Dare we press it? Wait, which one? Let's see, my performance was a huge bust. We didn't press this one, so let's press that first.
Excuse me for asking, but do you bomb like that on a regular basis?
Well, aren't you a regular rude daisy?
Do you really think a Rakugo artist who regularly bongs would get promoted? In fact, I'm known as the Tornado School's whirlwindo of laughter, I'll have you know. Is that really true, Simon?
That nickname is a bit of a travesty, if you ask me. But his Rakugo is solid and well received, yes.
I see. But yeah, whirlwindo of laughter is a big old stinkbomb of a name, isn't it? It's a bad name. If I had that name, I would be very sad all the time. Phew, what a relief. Thought it was just me. I mean, whirlwindo of laughter is great. Funny stuff. It's a good name. It's a good name you got there. I'm glad you like it.
The story I performed is called Toki Soba, otherwise known as Time Soba. Let's talk about it, hopefully without a long lecture from Sahdmadhi.
The story where a man cheats on his soba bill, right? Why do you think it didn't go over well?
Well, I suppose I was a little nervous. It's a lot of pressure when you're the star of such an important show, you know.
You?
Nervous?
I thought you'd be all calm and collected, but I guess even you can get stage fright, huh?
I wanted so badly to live up to the great name of Window that I inherited, but I guess I overperformed a little this time.
Wait, Window is the stage name of a former member of the Tornado School, right?
So wait, your name isn't Window. That's your stage name.
That's right.
The name belonged to one of Shisho's former disciples, who died of illness at a young age.
With the weight of a new name like that to carry on your shoulders, I can see why you were feeling the heat, just like me. I'm carrying the weight of my entire agency on my shoulders right now.
In that case, can I count on your sympathy and have you go a little easier on me?
With the audience as a witness, Window has a pretty unshakable alibi, doesn't he?
You're not giving up, are you? Where's that never say die spirit you displayed earlier?
Of course I'm not giving up, Simon. I just know Window has something to do with this case.
But how will you connect him to the crime when he has an alibi as strong as that?
I don't know just yet. But I'm gonna press his testimony and keep an eye out for contradictions.
I was on stage until just moments before I went into the dressing room. Okay, so what do we have? I feel like one of these testimonies. Invitation. Inside the envelope was a ticket to the show and a letter from the victim. The letter contained a simple greeting and a rundown of the show's program. Geiru was to perform her balloon act. Then Window was to do his soba glutton routine. Then finally Master Tornado was to perform Time Soba. So he was performing the wrong show, according to the actual invitation that everybody got. So why did he do the wrong show?
Window, isn't there something odd about the routine you performed? Odd? No, I don't think there's anything odd about it. But that's exactly what I find odd. The fact that you don't think it's odd.
Objection.
We are discussing a witness's alibi at the moment, defense. The show's program is completely irrelevant.
That's where you're wrong, Prosecutor Sahdmadhi. The reason being, it contradicts the statement the witness just made. Window, do you know what this is?
No, what is it?
This is an invitation to the show sent from Master Tornado to Prosecutor Blackwell. Included in the invitation is a rundown of the show's program, which clearly states that Time Soba was to be performed by Master Tornado himself.
No.
Window, why did you perform the routine your master was scheduled to do?
Well, you see, the reason for that is, how do I say this? You see, let's say it was a prank.
That's right, it was a little joke, you see. I was trying to surprise Shisho by performing his routine before he did. I don't know if I buy that. Was doing the victim's routine really just for laughs? Or, hey, didn't Simon happen to hear Time Soba coming from the dressing room? During Window's performance on stage? It seems like too much of a coincidence. Wait, can it be?
What's the matter? You're like a hen with a dozen eggs to lay.
Stop comparing me to birds! You bird brain, I'm not Taka!
Then cease this bird-brained timidity. If something has occurred to you, then lay it out for us already. Don't breed resentment in those watching your performance.
Okay. I don't have a ton of confidence in this theory, but here goes. It looks like Window's alibi checks out, Your Honor, but even though he was on stage at the time, he may have been trying to obfuscate a crucial detail about this case.
Are you referring to the sober bit of the man trying to skimp on in the witness's story?
I'm not talking about the Rakugo story, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, but then what are you talking about, Miss Sykes? Because I've just been thinking about that the whole time.
What Window may have been trying to deceive us about was
the time of the victim's death. I think. The cause of his death, or what the victim was to perform, no, I think it's all about the timing of his death.
We're trying to deceive us about the time of the victim's death.
What?
What gibberish. Prosecutor Blackwell even testified to the time of the victim's death.
I know, but he only testified that way because he and Garu have been completely taken in.
You mean by the sober bill thing?
Would you please forget about this story for a second, Your Honor?
I was deceived.
Pray tell, how did Window manage to deceive two people while he was performing on stage?
That's easy. All he had to do was use a certain prop in the dressing room.
Just turn the TV up really loud, and he was busy trying to sound like the other guy.
Oh, and what might that be?
The prop Window used was
the TV cranked all the way up, and it was by the door because he wanted to make it extra loud for people outside.
This TV was used to view what was happening on stage. Prosecutor Blacko, when you came to the dressing room, what was Window doing?
He was performing Time Sober. Blast!
Could it be?
Yes, it could, and it was. What you and Gabriel heard was not Master Tornado practicing his routine. It was Uendo's performance as heard through this TV monitor's speakers.
What?
With the TV just inside the inner door of the dressing room, it could easily be heard from the hallway outside.
And because we knew that Master Tornado was scheduled to perform Time Sober, we were easily manipulated into thinking he was still alive at the time, rehearsing.
Yes, your knowledge of the day's program is why the two of you could be fooled this way. Simon, did the voice you hear belong to Master Tornado?
With the doors in the way, I couldn't tell exactly who the voice belonged to. But because I heard Time Sober, I just assumed it was Master Tornado. I can't believe I was taken in by such a simple mind game.
Objection!
All of that is mere conjecture. Where is your proof, defense?
Window moved the TV back when he discovered the body. After all, he couldn't very well leave it by the door, because then someone might figure out the trick he'd been playing.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing about Window's actions that's suspicious.
And that is?
The fact that he flopped so badly on such an important occasion.
What's so suspicious about that? Even pros slip once in a while, you know.
But I believe that this time it was intentional. Because Window knew it'd be strange to hear laughter coming from the dressing room.
Oh my!
Yikes! It's all just a bit too perfect to be sheer coincidence. Plus, if the voice Prosecutor Blackwell and Gabriel heard was due to Window's screaming, then the victim's time of death could have been earlier than 4 p.m. In other words, Window could have killed Master Tornado himself.
We've got you by the stones now, Window, so you'd better confess everything.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
We demand an explanation! Window!
I confess. I tampered with the crime scene.
We know! That's not the part you should confess to. We knew about that, like, forever ago.
Is the defense's claim that Window Tornado is the true murderer in this case?
If he tampered with the crime scene, then we have to at least consider him a suspect.
Now wait just 1 minute. Yes, I admit to messing with the dressing room, but I didn't kill Shisho.
Then why did you tamper with the crime scene?
I refuse to answer that question.
What?
If you suspect this witness, then I have a question for you. What could it be this time? Window had absolutely no reason to murder Typhoon Tornado. After all, why would Window kill the man who recognized his skills and promoted him?
Oh, well, his motive was, I can't think of a single thing.
It appears you are also not aware of one other fact.
And that is?
That the accused visited the dressing room before 4 p.m. as well. Is it not natural, then, to suppose that the accused killed the victim at that time?
What? Nobody told me Mr. Wet had also gone there before 4 p.m.
We were only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m., so I didn't think to mention it. But now that you have made the time period before 4 p.m. relevant...
Uh-oh. Oh, look where this is going.
So, you really do not know what your client was doing during that time frame, do you?
Well, it was all very sudden, and, why did you wait until the very last second to contact me, Simon?
Don't you give me that look. And just so you know, Bucky never told me and visited the master before 4 p.m. either.
This sort of thing is exactly why that prosecutor keeps calling us unprepared.
The defense will stop squabbling this instant.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Prosecutor Sahdmadhi, please continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Defense, you know of the soap-making implements in the dressing room, correct?
Is he talking about the equipment for making soba noodles?
You speak of the large bowl that is used to mix buckwheat flour and water. The long rolling pin and the special knife that is used to cut the dough into noodles.
Precisely. These tools all came from the accused's soba shop.
You mean they didn't belong to Master Tornado?
Mr. Wet had visited the dressing room to give the victim a soba-making lesson, and that visit was before 4 p.m. I'm afraid that after the accused kneaded the dough and made those noodles, he committed the act of murder.
But wait! That doesn't add up! If Mr. White killed the victim before 4 p.m., why would he return to that room at a later time?
Who's...
Oh! I'm awake! Wet soba, you king caboodle when it comes to noodles, son!
Oh my!
Hi, Miss Jiggedy. Hey, Sammy! Observation! I went back, it's because Master Tornado ordered uncooked noodles. Mr. Wet?
Yesterday, I brought Noel and American tools to the dressing room around 2 p.m. That's when Master Nader ordered uncooked soba noodles to stock up on.
Uncooked noodles to stock up on?
Yes, ma'am. Master Nader kept a supply of soba noodles from my shop in his fridge. I only had one serving left, so I went back to my shop to get some more.
One serving of noodles in the fridge? But I thought the fridge was practically empty. Anyway, the whereabouts of the missing noodles isn't all that important now.
You ran into me and Gabriel when you came back to deliver the uncooked soba, correct?
That's right, Simon. I made time out of my busy day to deliver him the noodles. And you know what? He ignored me when I called him from the inner doorway. He just kept mumbling Rakugo lines for ages, so I got mad and went back to my soba shop.
So that's why you got mad. What he's saying is true, then there's no way he could be the murderer.
I swear I'm telling the truth, Miss Chick.
Bailiff, quick! Get this man to the infirmary, or at least get him a bucket of some kind. Well, I dare say he's quite the handful.
Your Honor, please accept the statements Mr. Wet just made just now into evidence.
I believe the accused statement about going to the room at around 2 p.m. is true, for it falls within the victim's estimated time of death.
That opens up the possibility that the crime was committed between 2 and 4 p.m. That's some critical information.
Yes, Your Honor. But other than that one point, Mr. Wet's statements are dubious and without proof.
Objection! But they are the words of the defendant himself! Simon, back me up here!
He has a point. If I were the prosecutor, I wouldn't accept them either.
Well, I understand the defense's feelings on this matter. This court is unable to accept anything other than the time the defendant made his visit.
How do I do? I trust you have no further objections, defense. At last, the time has come to send the soul of the victim onward to the Twilight Realm.
Silence!
What are you yammering on about, Prosecutor Sad Monk? We still have something we need to question Window about.
We do? Like what?
Well, don't just stand there.
But we don't have any evidence left to present.
Have you forgotten already? Isn't there still a hidden witness you have yet to question?
A hidden witness? Oh! That's right.